Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to the first ever Roofman USA Industry Expert Series. We're bringing on the owner of Roofman USA himself, Lucas Greaves. We're excited to bring this to you because we really want to show the flaws that go on in the roofing industry and why people are scared to get bids, to have multiple companies come out. They don't know who's being told the truth and who's being told lies. And that's why we're bringing on the best in the business right here to bring that to you today. All right, Lucas, I've grown up with you pretty much. We've been brothers since a long time ago, but I really want to hear the story of why you wanted to start Roofman USA, go that same route as your dad did, way back in the day.
I would say a lot of it just comes natural to me. I've been in the business obviously my entire life. You see a lot of shoddy work in the construction, specifically the roofing industry. You can get away with a lot of things on roofs that people would never expect unless you knew what you were looking at. 95% of the time I see a problem, I can diagnose it and fix it within seconds as long as it's nothing major. So it's just really come natural to me, something that I've done my entire life.
And so, you kind of talk about how, the craftsmanship's kind of poor. And, I know from experience, from you about that. And obviously I've seen it firsthand, being involved, with this company and with you. How prevalent is poor craftsmanship in the roofing industry? A lot of people have had horror stories, but like from your, expert point of view, how often does poor craftsmanship happen, and how can people protect themselves from that?
I would say it happens all the time. I mean, there's probably, if you get down to it, probably something on every roof. And a lot of that goes back to these roofs not being inspected. I mean, they're done, whoever did the job gets their money, they go on their way and you never see the people again. I mean, maybe a problem arises 10 years after the fact because something wasn't done right and it took that long to become an issue. Obviously inspecting the roof after it's done, if you can only do so much yourself, so obviously you're gonna have a bunch of people working on that roof, and people get going fast, even guys that know what they're doing, they get going fast and they may miss something, and it happens all the time. But your main advantage of hiring a reputable company, if you do have a problem, they're gonna come back and fix it, and it's taken care of free of charge. You already paid for it once, there's no point in paying any more money again. So that's where having a reputable company stand behind you and stand behind them, obviously.
And so what do we have in place to kind of protect them? Are we having inspectors out there? How do we handle, if we mess a job up or a customer's unhappy, or if it's a couple years later, how are we handling that here?
So nobody ever wants to have problems, but every roof after it's done is inspected. I believe it's only happened once or twice, but I've had to replace entire roofs for the price of one. You don't want to do that, but that's how you keep a good name. You do the job, you do it right. The first time, obviously, but if that didn't happen, then you make sure it's done right the final time.
And I think that's the big thing here that we really want to. So that's loud. We'll wait a second. We'll wait. It'll shut off once it heats up to where it wants to get. It'll stop.
All right, we're gonna have to pause here for a second.
We're back with Lucas here, and we're talk more in depth about Roofman USA and why we started it and what we're doing different to stick out in this old industry. But we're gonna have Lucas kind of talk about his dad, Kurt Greaves, who was the owner of Mr. Roof at one point and did sell it back in the day. So Lucas, kind of talk about your experience of growing up with your dad and in Mr. Roof, and how you're kind of taking that experience now, but putting your own spin on it.
So obviously I was involved from a young age. We would go in there 8, 9 years old and cut samples for the sales guys, which is kind of similar to what we do now. We still take our products, show off what we got, versus what the competitor has. And it's just something I've always been around. I would say a lot of what's advanced now versus, that's really only been 15, 20 years. But a lot of what's advanced now, just like everything in society, is how things are measured. You know, the roof, I mean, you can measure the entire roof before you even go there. We still like to go there, get on the roof. Obviously, then you can give a more thorough estimate. You know, you have X amount of rotted wood, you have no rotted wood. Those are things you can't tell unless you get on the roof or in the attic. And a lot of different things play a determining factor as far as the cost of the roof. I mean, our estimates are, they're right. I mean, they are what they are. You know, the price you're estimating is the price you're going to pay. The only other thing would be, you know, if you had rotted wood that wasn't expected, but we see that at the time of the estimate 90% of the time. I mean, and it's the same price whether we see it then or while we, you know, discover it while we're replacing the roof. A couple other things that determine our estimate process: we're going to go in the attic, make sure your soffits aren't plugged, so you don't end up with condensation in the winter. Make sure your soffits are free flowing. There's no insulation covering them, so you have proper airflow in the attic. The ventilation is 100% the key as to how long the roof will last.
Awesome. And last question for you here. Obviously, you and your dad are close and have a great relationship. What is the one thing you've learned from him, or he's told you, that you've kind of taken and, you know, you've took that as your experience, you've been able to learn from it, and, you know, and use it to your advantage with Roofman USA and, you know, in trying to grow this company?
You just stick with it. I mean, it takes time, and you gotta treat the customers right. Everybody has problems, and it doesn't matter if you're the best company in the world, worst company in the world. I mean, if you're the worst company in the world, you're gonna have a lot more problems than the best company in the world. But if you're taking care, like I said, everybody's gonna have. You do enough roofs, something's gonna pop up. You know, customer calls you, it leaks, something. You go back, you fix it, you take care of it. It's free of charge. I mean, that's why we give the warranties we give. You know, your lowest warranty with us is gonna be a 30-year warranty. So. We're not doing anything cheap. We don't want you know, you put the roof on, you decide you need the roof done in January, February, and you get a windy day and, you know, you put cheap stuff on, you're picking up half the roof out of your yard. We don't want anything like that. So all the shingles we use are going to be, you know, heavy shingle. I mean, our bottom product, asphalt shingle, is still great asphalt shingle. And then obviously you have your rubberized option as well.
And then I got one more question, because you said it. So you said we have a 30-year warranty on the roofs we do, and I just want to make sure, because this is the issue with the industry that people don't know. We do not have an annual premium on that. We don't have anything you have to pay after that price is done. It is fully built into the price. There's no hidden charge every year, every couple years, correct?
That's correct. A lot of these companies, what they'll do is you'll have to pay every 5 years. You'll have to pay $100 to have it re-inspected to make sure everything's still good. Nothing like that. You have a problem, you call us, we come take care of it. You know, our labor backs up the material warranty. So you have a 30-year shingle, it's a 30-year labor warranty. You have a 50-year shingle, it's a 50-year labor warranty. They're calling everything lifetime limited now, but if you have a problem, you know, with one of our roofs, you're going to notice it in the first rain. It's going to be taken care of, and you're never going to have a problem again.
Sounds good. Hey, that finishes up our very first episode here. It's been fun. I'm excited to keep doing this more. Hopefully Lucas can bring you some more knowledge, and we'll see you next time.